Hello guys. Apologies for starting here a little bit late. My my cameras were all over the place. I didn't know what was happening. Anyways, I'm here now. So we are coming back with part 3 of making Santa today. So we're gonna start on Santa himself. So we've done the wreath, which it's hard to see, but I do have it hanging on the tree right now. He's got his other wreath here. But today we're gonna start working on his little feet. So we'll start his feet and work up. That's how you make his body. So that's what we're gonna work on today, okay? So what you're going to need, let me get my top down here so that you can see. Give me one moment. Let's see, we'll do this. Nope. Let's go like so. There we go. Okay. So you're going to need whatever color you're going to use for his boots and his pants. That's for me, I just did black on his. However, because I'm going to do this woodland Santa and because black is very hard to see on camera, I wanted to go ahead and just use something that will be easier for you guys. And I think this color looks really good with the green that I've chosen for his coat. So that's up to you. If you want to use black, go for it. If you want to use brown or some other color, go for that as well. We've got our size F crochet hook here and a little stitch marker as well. And then lastly, if you're interested in making the feet a little more flat and giving it a little more stability, then hi Amy, welcome in. Then we'll be cutting some cardboard out. This is just from a goldfish cracker box, but whatever cardboard you'd have, we'll be cutting out ovals and tucking those into the bottom. And then later on when we're assembling, we can put like fishing weights or any kind of weights in the feet to just give him a little bit more stability for standing. The staff helps with the standing as well, since he is so top heavy that, you know, it assists him a little bit there. So yeah, we'll need that. And then the last thing that I have, I just wanted to show you guys, this isn't for today, but these are the kind of sticks that I'm talking about when you go out looking for a stick to make your staff. So these would work out really well where you can put the little turtle doves around the little branches that are sticking out. This one has another forked top. And then this one here, this is the one that got me thinking about making a little birdhouse as another option. Hi, Shy. Welcome in. So yeah, this one's got me wanting to make a birdhouse this time around. So I may try to, between now and when we're getting to that point of making the birds, I may try to come up with a pattern, like just a quick little birdhouse that it could sit on. And I love that it already comes with moss on it too. Very natural, right? Very natural moss. So, so anyways, when you're out on your walks, just, you know, look around for some cool looking sticks and that'll be his staff. So I'm excited to get to that point, but for now, we got to make his boots. So I'm going to grab my yarn, my hook, and my stitch marker, and I'm going to pop the pattern up here. So just give me one moment to get that on the screen. Here we go. So we're starting off with boot number 1, and I'm just gonna give myself a little slack, get everything else out of the way here. Okay, so we're starting off with a chain 8, okay? So we need to first get our slip knot on our hook. So I'm just gonna create a slip knot, grabbing both ends here. I've got that little loop. I'm gonna slip that on my hook, and we're gonna chain 8, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Right? I thought the birdhouse would be so cool. And then we could put a little post coming out of the birdhouse and then have one of the turtle doves sitting on it. So I thought that would be really neat. So we'll see what happens, but I'll try to whip something up for it. Okay, so now we're going to work into the second chain from our hook, and we're doing 3 single crochets into that chain. Okay, so it's an increase, but we're increasing with 3 single crochets instead of 2. So we're putting 3 in 1, right? So we'll get our 3 in this one, and then we're going to go on down the chain. Okay, we're going to do 5 single crochets. So we're picking up just that back loop there. Okay, so we're going to do 1. These are all just single crochets, you guys, nothing crazy. But as we make our boot, we'll finish boot 1, we'll cut it off, then we'll do boot 2, and then as we're making boot 2, then we start to connect the 2 and then build up the body. So that's kind of how he's structured, okay? So I've done my 5 single crochets along that chain, and then in this last one, we're going to do another 3 single crochets, okay? So it's just helping us to create our oval shape, and it also assists us in getting around that bend because we're going to now be working into those back chain that we did not work into yet. Okay, so now that you've done your 3 in 1 at the end, you're going to go ahead and work back up the chain here, doing another 5 single crochets as you go along, and you're just now working into the back loops again. So it's now, these were the front loops that you left behind, so we're just working in through those here. So we've got 3 and 4 and 5. Get that last one there. Come on. Oh no, I split it. Come on now, work with me. There we go. All right. And so we're not going to join, we're just working in the round. So you're going to place your stitch marker. Okay, so place your stitch marker. And now we're going to start working into the 3 that we did in the very beginning. We're going to put an increase in each of those 3. So find your first one here. Mine's right there. So let me grab both loops of that braid that it leaves, right? And we're going to put 2 and 1. So these are 3 increases as you work around the bend. So you're really just increasing around the toe and the heel of the boot. And then the sides, you're just single crocheting. So that's kind of the pattern that we're following here. And then now that you've done your 3 increases, now you're going to go in and again just do 5 single crochets. So we're not increasing on the sides, just on the ends. So 3, here's 4 and 5. Okay, now we've hit the other one. So again, we're going to do 3 more increases. And we've got 1 increase. Whoops. And 2 and 3. Okay, and then now that we've done the 3 increases, we'll finish this round off by doing another 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay, so that has finished round 2. Now go ahead and replace your stitch marker here on your loop on your hook there. Now for round 3, we're just doing that gradual increase again. So in order to do that, we're going to do a single crochet and then an increase in that pattern 3 times to get around the bend, okay? So single crochet in the next, and then increase in the next, and then single crochet and increase. Okay, and then one more time, single crochet and then increase. Here we go. Okay, and then again, 5 single crochets across that side, right? So we're not increasing here, we're just making our way down to the other side of the shoe. So 3, 4, 5. And then now we're doing that pattern again, okay? So single crochet and then increase and do that 3 times total. So there's 1 and then, yeah, yesterday we finished the wreath and oh my gosh, making those leaves was torture. I thought it was. I don't know about you guys, but I was like, okay, and we're making another one and another and another. Just keep it going. Today should be a lot better, okay? And then we're going to go in and do, again, our single crochets to finish off. So you're just finishing off with your 5 single crochets, okay? So just get those in there and then replace your stitch marker. Okay, there we go. All right, so now you've got kind of a nicer boot shape, right? All right, let me just give myself some slack here. So we're going to now work around. This is the width here. We're going to now just work all the way around, but in the back loops only, and that will give us a little ridge because we're leaving those front loops unworked. So the back loop, if you're looking at it, and if this is your V, right, you're just going in through the center of the V and picking up that back loop only. And we're just going to single crochet around just in those back loops. So this is one reason that you do back loops only, is to create those nice little ridges. And I find these are very cute to have on the bottoms of shoes, just because it just makes them have a little bit better of a shoe shape, you know? Otherwise they end up just looking really, really rounded, like clown shoes kind of. So I think this is a nice little touch. You know, you can always pick them up also and make something with them if you need to. If you want to do like a little border or something, you could do that as well. So there's options. Okay, so we're just going all the way around. Nice single crochet border here, all the way around in the back loops. Okay. And then we get to start building up the boot. Because when you do this also, it kind of tells your work, right? It tells your work that you're now building up because you're not increasing around. So it's just going to start making it more tight. And so it just starts shaping that shoe for you. Here we go. Yeah, right? I think it's fun. It's nice. It's strategic, right? You got to be strategic with it, but you could definitely get some nice little things going with it. I'll use it for like if I'm doing a doll or something and I want the arm and the shirt are all one piece, and then I'll do that so that I'll have a little ridge there so it looks more like it's separated, you know, and it's not just like your arm turns into a shirt. You're stream prepping today? Oh, thank you, my dear. I very much appreciate you being here. You know, the tutorials, I know a lot of people can't catch them live, and so this is also for the replay. So if you guys are here in the replay, don't forget to comment and say replay. Put a little heart so I know. All right, so we've gone all the way around in the back loops only. Okay, so now we're just going to single crochet around, but this time in both loops. So just as a usual single crochet around. So nice and easy as we build up the shoe. Get a little height on it here. But yeah, you know, and when you do working in back loops only and front loops only, another thing like with shoes and stuff is that's kind of a good way to help you create quick sort of bends in things, right? So when you're doing like the front loop, and that's because you don't see that extra stitch that's then on the back side because it's on the inside of your work, that is a nice way to create like a nice bend. So I've seen that done for example, like a dolphin's face between the eye areas to get that kind of bump above the head, working in those front loops. This is just different techniques to create shapes, right? So, and especially it's nice in Amis because all those stitches are then hidden on the back side. All right. Shy, did you start your giant snail? I did. I started mine. I was actually thinking of going live later on after this. After we make this part, I'll do a separate one. I'm just thinking of working on my giant snail. I went and got the red color I needed at Joann's yesterday, so now I've got all the colors. Hi, David. How are you? It's nice to see you joining me here. Here we go. Okay, now we're just replacing our stitch marker because we've done our single crochet around. Oh, good, your yarn came today. Good. How's he coming along? I'll show you. I'm doing this giant snail, you guys, from Garden Hoe Crochet or Garden Hoe Market. I've seen it both ways, but I think it's Garden Hoe Crochet. This is his little head so far. Isn't it cute? Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. He needs his face, but I'm like super excited. He's gonna be big, Shy. Like this is big. But I'm using what did she use? She used Premier XL, I think is the yarn that she used. I'm using Bernat Blanket Extra. Yes, I know. I think it'd be fun. I'm just gonna get on and hang out with people while I make snails. So that sounds like fun to me. All right, so we've done our row 5, which was the single crochet around. So now we're going to start creating some more shape to his boot. Okay, so we're going to start with 13 single crochets. Yeah, he's going to be super big, David. I know. He's going to be a pillow, I think, like a decorative pillow for Christmas. So I bought some chenille yarns too that I want to make some smaller ones with from Dollar Tree yesterday. All right, so we're doing 13 single crochets to start. So this is 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Okay. Bigger than Bigfoot. Yes. Oh my gosh, he's gonna be huge. I love it. It'll be so cute though. Okay, so we've done 13 single crochets. Now we're gonna do 5, and I do invisible decreases. This is completely personal preference. You guys can do a regular decrease if you'd like. But an invisible decrease, if you're not familiar with it, is you work in the front loops only, okay? So this is kind of what I was telling you about when you just work in the front loops only and you're creating that bigger bend in your work. This is what I'm doing. So 5 invisible decreases, excuse me. I'm going to go in through under the first braid here, so the front loop. Then I'm going to go in underneath the second front loop in the next stitch. Okay. I'm going to yarn over, pull through those 2 loops. All right. And then yarn over and pull through. So that's an invisible decrease. So then again, you're going under the first front loop of the next 2 stitches. You know what? I did that wrong. I think. Hang on. It's because I'm talking. I think I need to grab a stitch. Hang on a second. No, I did it right. Okay, I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Sorry guys. Underneath the first 2 loops there and the next 2 stitches, and then you just yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through. I think I did that right. Hang on. Oh my God. This is what happens when I try to do lives and talk at the same time. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Oh my God, it's going to be one of those days, you guys. Oh, it's acrylic, David. It's acrylic. I know. I was telling my husband about the snails. I was like, so yeah, I'm going to be making snails for all of our stocking toppers, just so you know. He's like, can I get a retro snail? Like, I want 80s colors. And I was like, yeah, we could do that. And so he wants to do, he wants like the fall mushroom one, but wants the mushroom to look like a Mario mushroom, which I thought would be really cool. I was like, yeah, let's do that. Okay, so we've done our 5 decreases or invisible decreases. So you can see that it's pulling this in like the front of a boot, right? You're distracting me, David. I know. Oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm doing. What's a decrease again? That's okay. I enjoy the comedic relief. I love this. This is good. Okay, and then we're just finishing off with 5 single crochets. So just do your gentle or do your general 5 single crochets here. And I'll try to not get mush mouth, you know. Oh my goodness. I know. I want to have her on too, Shy. I want to interview her on my channel like we did with you. I think that'll be so much fun. I need to ask her, like, what made you think snails? Like, such a great idea, right? Yes, 80s vibes. I know. My husband's born in the 70s, the late 70s, though. But, you know, grew up in the 80s. So we love our retro colors. Okay, so now we're going to do row 7. Row 7, we start with 14 single crochets. So let's start there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, have to count or I just will mess this up really. 10, 11, 12, 13, almost. Where is it? There it is, 13 and 14. Oh my gosh. Okay. And then now that we've done 14, we'll do 2 invisible decreases. So this is also a good way, you guys, to make like a little loafer shoe. If you're making a doll, a loafer shoe I've done. You can make a little, what are they called? Are they called Mary Ann's? What are the ones that has the little like kind of buckle strap that goes across? You can make those. Those are really cute. So just kind of little info as we go here, you know, on how to make different things. So I'm going back in to do my invisible decreases. If I could grab that front loop. Oh my gosh, it's one of those days. I think I need more coffee. I have it right next to me, so I should be drinking that, right? Okay, so I'm going to go into the next front loop of both the next 2 stitches, yarning over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, okay? There it is. Mary Jane's, yeah, okay, I'm not crazy. That's what it's called, see? Yes, so we've got that. Now we've got our 2 invisible decreases. We're finishing off with single crochets, okay? So we've built our little toe of his boot here. Yeah, they are super cute. They are super cute. But this is like how I've built shoes for different dolls, you know, because it's just such a good universal technique, I think. And then the decreases right in the front there is what just gives you that really nice look for your shoe. So the time in Washington is 10:24 in the morning. How about you guys in Sweden? I can never do the conversion, so Shai always has to tell me. We were struggling figuring out our live the other day. It's like, I think that's this time. Then daylight savings and all that other stuff is just, oh my gosh, it's crazy. Okay, so for the next 2 rows, we're going to be following this same pattern. And this is another kind of similar technique, okay? So in order to get that really sharp bend for the boot, we're doing slip stitches in that area, okay? So we'll start out by doing 11 single crochets. So let's start there. So 1, 2, yeah, 7:24. So you guys are like, did you eat dinner yet? Probably not. It seems like you guys eat kind of late. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. All right, and now we'll do 8 slip stitches, okay? So we're slip stitching in the next 8 stitches. So slip stitch is just yarn over from the back and then pull through that loop on your hook, okay? So you yarn over from the back and pull through. So this is just creating a nice sharp bend for our boot. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, and then ending it with 2 single crochets. Here we go, and replace your stitch marker. And then we're going to do that same thing, so we're repeating that row, okay? Just had dinner. Oh yeah, late on the work days, yep. Okay, so I have to hold my arms up, you guys, because if I lay them down on my desk, my camera gets shaky, and so it's kind of a weird position, so I do apologize if it's like, it's going to give me like a buff. I'm going to get buff up here, you know. All right, so we're starting with our single crochets again, and we're doing 11 of them. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Okay, and then we're going to do our 8 slip stitches. So you're just going into the slip stitches from before, and we're just doing the same thing. So we're just slip stitching in the slip stitches. Say that 10 times fast. All right, so there's 3. Come on. There's 4. Sometimes they're a little tough to get into. I try not to make them too tight, but it is what it is. All right, there we go. And we're continuing on. Whoops. I keep losing my stitches. Come on, work with me. All right, there we go. One more. Okay. And 2 single crochets. 1 and 2. Okay, replace your stitch marker. Okay, next. Yes, you can make a lot of stuff with yarn. Very, very true. Very true. Okay, so for the next, what is that? Quite a few rows, 10 through 14, we are doing just single crochets around, okay? So this is just building up the boot, nice and easy. So we're just single crocheting. So now we can chat because we're just single crocheting. A little bit of a break, right? Oh my goodness. Yeah. David, you were asking about Star Wars the other day, favorite characters and such. I think that, see, I grew up with the original ones, and I always loved the Ewoks as a kid. I thought they were funny. I liked them a lot. Definitely not a Jar Jar fan at all. I don't know that anybody really is, actually. Oh my goodness. My husband's a big Star Wars fan, too. Star Wars and Transformers. And what else? Back to the Future. Really likes that one. Batman. What can't you make with yarn, right? What couldn't you make with yarn? There's got to be something. Prosthetics, I guess. Need something a little more durable. Yeah, I don't think anybody likes Jar Jar. No, I don't think so. I do not think so. I always like all the little droids too. I always thought they were fun. Especially when R2 is like falling and he's like, "Wah!" You know, as he's falling down. I love that. Oh, he's got a kick out of it. A flamethrower. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Don't come anywhere near the yarn with your fire, please. Oh my gosh. That's so funny. Yeah, I liked the originals too. The nostalgia of it, you know? My husband and I were talking about how we need to get our kids watching. They really just don't watch movies, and that's our fault. We just didn't really get them into the movie scene like we should have. But my daughter's watched some Disney movies now, and she really likes like Stitch and stuff. But we were talking about like the originals, like Princess Bride and the Goonies and that kind of thing, and trying to get the kids interested, because the Goonies was actually like, you can actually go see the Goonies. You can't like go in because it's actually a residence now, but the Goonies house is in Astoria, which is probably like an hour and a half away from us where we are. So we've driven over that way, and it's really cool. But like, just, you know, because we've driven through the town, you go through Astoria to get to Seaside when we go. So just to show the kids, like, you know, here, this is another place that you've seen, and then it's in this movie, you know? So yeah, we need to get them watching the original stuff. I think it would be, although they'll probably just like poo-poo it because it's definitely a different day and age, right? Kids need like flashy things constantly to make it interesting for them. So his little boot is taking shape. Yeah, the Goonies is filmed in Washington. Yep. Actually, is Astoria considered Washington? I know Seaside's technically considered Oregon, but it's just weird how the states are shaped. So you think you're in Washington, but you're actually like in a little, you go over a bridge and stuff, you're like in a little part of Oregon. So, all right, let me just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, I still have some time here to go. Hi, Dreeny. Yes, Google it. Let me know, David. I'd Google it, but I'm making a boot. How are you, Dreeny? Glad you could make it. We've almost finished his first boot, and then we need to start on his second boot. So every time I say boot, I think of like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? It's like a really bad accent. I don't even know what accent I'm doing, but it's not good, whatever it is. It is Oregon. Okay, there you go. So yes, it's filmed in Oregon, but because of how the states are shaped, it's just like, it feels like it's still in Washington to me, but we're talking about the Goonies movie and where it was filmed. It's filmed very close, within a driving distance, just like an hour and a half or so from where I am in Washington. So, does anybody have some favorite movies that they had enjoyed when they were kids here? Princess Bride was a really good one for me, but I had a crush on Dread Pirate Roberts. Was it a Minnesotan? Yeah, whatever it is, it was a bad one. It was a bad rendition of it. Oh my gosh, I've not ever been good with accents. In fact, my daughter, she's just now getting interested in watching, or not watching, but reading the Harry Potter books. And we have the first one in that really heavily illustrated, giant hardback version, which I thought would be better because she's 7.5, so they kind of still really need those pictures in there to keep their attention. And, I've seen all the movies and stuff like that. And I've listened to the audiobooks by Jim Dale when he's done the reading, which is fabulous. How they keep the accent straight in these audiobooks, though, is just, I have no idea. Because I don't know, Harry goes from being, British to being Scottish. There's probably Irish in there at some point. American. He's all over the place. I try, but I just cannot keep them consistent. Oh, you pulled out some mosaic letters for the blanket. That sounds nice. Indiana Jones. Yep. Yeah, that was a good one. Oh my gosh. And it's like, there's certain scenes in the book that I remember vividly in the movie. And so I can kind of match up the accent with how I remember it, because it's like a quote that we've said or something before. But most of the time, because the movies are so different from the books and stuff, I'm just like at a total loss. I just can't keep them straight. Hi, Angel. How are you? Welcome in. We are making Santa's shoes. We're starting with the boots. So, yeah, I'm doing them in brown because black is just going to be way too hard for you guys to see. So I chose brown for mine. But of course you can always do the traditional black boot for Santa. So, but if you are new to crochet, I don't recommend black. Black is a hard one to work with. All right. Okay, let me just recount because I don't want to go over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Awesome. So we finished the first boot. Okay, so we're just slip stitching in the next one and finishing off. Okay, and then just get your scissors, cut it away. You don't really need a tail or much of a tail anyway, because we're going to be connecting and building up the body from from when we make the other boot. So now we got to make it one more time. So the first 14 rows will be the same. So I'm just going to keep it here on the boot number 1 because that's what we need to follow. All right, so I'm setting my first boot aside, and I'm going to grab my yarn again. And we're starting again with our chain 8. Luckily, it's only 2 boots. Yesterday with the leaves, there was like 24 leaves. I was like, oh my gosh. They don't take very long, but then you have to make that many of them, and it takes a while. 4, 5, 6, oops, 7, and 8. There we go. Okay. So we're going to start with 3 single crochets in the second chain from our hook. So 3 and 1. Now we're going to go down and do 5 single crochets along the chain until you get to that last one. 3, 4, 5, and then 3 single crochets in this last one as we turn the shoe, right? We're going around the bend of the chain. Okay, now tuck the tail into the back there, and then now we're going to do our other 5 single crochets on the other side of our work. Make 2 extra in case Santa steps in a puddle, right? And he probably will. Oh my goodness. I was like pulling out all these different browns, trying to figure out which one would look good with the green that I'm using for his coat later. Oh. I was going to use the brown that we used on the ring of the wreath that the wreath leaves are attached to, but I just don't think I have enough of it because this is all I have left. So I didn't think that that would be enough. And I did not want to play yarn chicken on our live crochet along here. So, okay, 1, 2, let's see. I don't want to do too many. I just want to make sure. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. All right, there we go. Place a stitch marker there. Boop. Okay. So row 2, we're just doing 3 increases in those ones that we did on the end here. So the 3 and 1, those ones all get an increase. Okay, hang on. It's gonna work with me. It is. There it goes. Okay. Some yarns just seem to want to separate, like the strands of them. They just like to split on you. This is one of those. All right, last one here. So that's another increase. That's 3 increases, and we go back down and down the last row here. So we're doing 5 single crochets along the straight line there. 3, whoops, 4, and 5. And now we're going to increase around the bend. So increase 3 times. 1, whoops, come on, get in there. 2, and 3. Does she? I got this, these ones actually came in this high crochet kit, but usually I get these ones from like a dollar store. They come in a whole big pack for $1.25. So there's, okay, so now we're just single crocheting 5 times. So there's 3, 4, and 5. There we go. Place your stitch marker. Shai's using this one as a stitch marker. She makes such pretty ones herself. I keep meaning to do that. I bought all the stuff to do it, and then I just haven't done it yet. Okay, and then in the next one, so row 3, we'll start on those 3, the 3 bend, right? We're going to do a single crochet and then an increase 3 times. Okay, so there's a single crochet. Now we'll do our increase here. Yeah, probably true. They just are, they work, and, you know, they just work well. and they don't mess with the yarn and stuff, so I like them. And one more. And plus they're so cheap that it's just like if you lose one, you're not heartbroken about it. All right, now we're going to do our 5 single crochets up the side there. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, and then again, same thing, single crochet and then an increase 3 times. Single crochet and then an increase. Single crochet and an increase. Single crochet and an increase. Okay, there we go. Okay, and 5 more single crochets. Then we're going to be working in the back loops only so that we can make our little ridge. What BOR markers are progress keepers mostly? What's BOR stand for, Shy? I should know, but I'm not, my brain is not engaging into what that means. All right, replace your stitch marker. And then now we're just single crocheting around in the back loops only. So again, if you're new to crochet, the back loop is, if this is your V, it's this the back stitch here. So you go into the middle of the V to get that back stitch, and then yarn over, pull forward, yarn over, and pull through. That's a single crochet in the back loop only. You're leaving that front loop unworked, so you have a little ridge showing. Beginning of round O. Yeah, there we go. Should have known that. Sometimes I'm like, I have to decode these messages sometimes. I just can't keep all the little acronyms and things in my head. Here we go. So Thursday, my usual live on Thursdays, when I come on at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And last week we started Santa. We started and we made the ring. But I kind of missed just having a like chill time with you guys where we're not like tutorialing it up. So this week I'm actually going to do 2 lives that day because I'm crazy. So I'm going to do my usual one, and I'm going to work on my cocoon again that I have been working on. And then later in the afternoon at 1 my time, Pacific time, I'll come in and we'll work on Santa. So the goal is to get Santa done before December 1st. So that means a lot of lives, you guys, because I would say he's at least an intermediate pattern, just because there's a lot of pieces and a lot of extra fun things you got to do, and you know, but I think you can follow along even if you're new to crochet. You know, we do go slow and you can always rewind. Be kind, rewind. Oh, maybe that could be because I'm really not familiar with the knitting terms very well. I know what a knit and a purl is, and that's about it. I do want to learn. I want to try to get into knitting more. In fact, I bought it was like a knit amigurumi monsters book a long time ago. And I started the amigurumi monster and I got like the head shape. It was kind of like a bell shape, right? And then I got to the point where I would have to somehow take it off and then put it, I don't know, put it on other needles to try to build up the other area. And then that's where I was like, okay, I'm out. I don't know how to do this. You know, I got super like stressed about it. So now it's another whip. It's an unfinished whip in there. Oh, yeah, that's true. Knitting and purling is very, the 2 of the most common, right? All right, now we're just single crocheting around, you guys, but this time in the both the loops. So going around in both loops. So just your usual. And I'm going to take a sip of my coffee because it's going to get liquidy here. Is anybody else working on something else while they hang out, or what are you working on? Yeah, one day. I know I was tuning into another YouTuber. Her name's Margaret. I think it's Songbirds Crocheting Creations or something like that is her channel. But I guess she just posted a tutorial today that is an ornament, and it's a spider web made out of hot glue. And it looked like maybe glitter. I haven't gotten a chance to look at the tutorial yet. But then she makes the spider with beads and seed beads and wire. And I was like, oh, that looks like fun. Just one more craft project, you know. But I've started following, I think her handle is like Where the Gnomes Live or something like that. And she just makes a whole bunch of crazy creative things for like fairy gardens and gnome houses and stuff like that. And she's making these adorable little things out of walnut shells. Like it's a little enclosure. And she had made like a mushroom house that fit inside, and then inside the mushroom house was a little tiny gnome. Oh my gosh, I was like, oh, I want to make that. So cute. Oh man, that was a candy cane mocha. I get it half sweet. Normally I would get sugar free, but they, for whatever reason this year, they didn't get the peppermint and sugar free. And then I usually get coconut milk, but they messed up and put almond milk in it. So I'm like, it's not as good as I like because I'm not a huge almond milk fan, but no worries, David. I'm glad you could join in. And you too, Shy. Thanks for coming in. Hi, Barbara. How are you? All right, so we've gotten up through row 5, so we're going to start row 6. Row 6 has invisible decreases to make the toe, okay? But first, let's start with 13 single crochets. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, almost there, 12, and 13. Okay, so now we're doing 5 invisible decreases or regular decreases if that's your preference. So I'm just working into the next 2 front loops here. I'm just going to pick up those 2 front loops, yarn over, pull through those loops, yarn over, and pull through those last 2 loops there, okay? Now we're going to go into the next here. So we're doing the front loops again of the next 2. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, next 2. So these are invisible decreases, and they're just not as noticeable as a regular decrease. They don't create like that bump that you'd normally see on a decrease. Okay, one more. Okay. We go. And then we're ending with 5 single crochets. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, replace your stitch marker there. We go. Okay, and the next one we're starting with 14 single crochets. So let's get those in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Okay, so now we're going to just do 2 invisible decreases just for that toe area. So we're going into the next 2 front loops there. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and in the next 2 here. Okay. And again, finishing off this row, we're going to do 5 single crochets. Nice and easy. Anybody's decorating yet for the holidays, or are you waiting until after Turkey Day if you're in the States? Let me know. We've started. We've gotten a couple bins out, but we do have more, and we have not put up our tree yet, but my husband's really trying to make our daughter wait until after Turkey Day for the tree. Okay, So now that we've done that, we've got 2 rows now, or 2 rounds, where we're going to do some slip stitches, okay, to give it just that extra little bend for the boot. So let's start off here with 11 single crochets. So we're going around the back side of the boot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, 10, and 11. Okay. So now we're going to do 8 slip stitches, okay? And you don't need to make these too tight since you're doing 2 rows of them. So just kind of keep them loose a little bit. So that's 2, 3, 4, and then 4 more on the other side here. So it's 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. All right, and then we're just finishing off with 2 single crochets on this round. 1 and 2. Replace your stitch marker, and we're just doing that all again. 1 more row of that. So we're going to start off again with 11 single crochets. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Not sure if I'm going to, considering that my puppies are wanting to chew everything in sight. Oh no, that's not good. What kind of puppies do you have, Angel? That must be cute though. Not that they're chewing all your things, but that they're little puppies in your house. That's cute. All right, so now we're doing our slip stitches in the prior round's slip stitches. So we're doing 8 of those. Okay. Yeah, for this, you know, I've had how to assemble Santa. I've already have videos up on how to assemble him for quite some time, but I never actually did how to make him. And the assembly videos were because this pattern was actually published in Crochet Now one year, Crochet Now magazine. Oops. And so I wanted there to be some, you know, helping videos to help assemble him since he has quite a few pieces. But now I'm actually getting the point where I can teach you how to make him, and then, you know, there's the assembly videos as an option if you want to watch those, or you can catch it live. So always have options, right? American Bulldogs. Oh, how cute. Oh, I love them. They're so cute. Those are good apartment dogs because they don't really need a lot of exercise, from what I've heard. Okay. Okay, we're almost through here. One more. Oops. This yarn likes to split on me a little bit, so it's kind of frustrating to work with sometimes, but it's going to look cute, so we're going with it. All right, next just do 2 single crochets there to finish out that round. All right, replace your stitch marker. Oops, hang on, let me split that one again. Hang on. Let me get this through that. There we go. And now we're just going to do single crochet around for 5 rounds. So we're just building up this other boot, but we're not going to fasten this one off because then we're going to be going on to the next part of it so we can start connecting these 2 together. Here's our Tasmanian devils. They're sowing their wild oats while they're small still. How cute. That's so cute though. All right, now we're getting through those slip stitches from before. I bet. How many do you have, Angel? Is there just like a couple of them, or do you have more than that? And you guys don't forget to put your thumbs up on this video, because it does help the channel a lot. And it helps YouTube to know what to suggest, right, to other people. All right, so we're just working our way through the slip stitches. Those do tend to be a little tighter to work through, but they give it a nice sharp bend to the boot, which is why I put them there. And then once you get this first row of single crochets in, it's just much easier. There we go. I always think it's funny because when it's live, you guys get to see the struggles, right? When things don't quite, things aren't working out quite right with the yarn or whatever. And normally in an edited video, those parts are just conveniently left out, or, oh, you're just to the end of the round and then you skip over them. Oh, gotcha. You had one that you gave to a friend. Now you got two left. Cute. Two girls. That's awesome. All right, so now on to the next row here. I think maybe when our kids are older, we might get a dog, but we have two cats right now, and it's much easier to handle cats and kids, I think, than a dog and kids. I just don't think I could handle like potty training the puppies or whatever at this stage in the game. Oops. There we go. I wonder if your bulldogs are going to leave your presents and package things alone this holiday season if you celebrate Christmas. Our cats, they like the Christmas tree, but they're not the cats that really will jump into it per se. They're more the I like to lay underneath it kind of cat. So they love when the tree comes out because it gives them their little cozy little cave space, you know, that they like to lay underneath of. Oh, good. So see, they're getting there. They're getting there. Potty trained yet or not yet? That's my least favorite part. If they came potty trained, that would be different. But the other thing too is up here in Washington State, it rains like 3/4 of the year, it feels like. And so that's another issue in and of itself, right? Because not only does it rain a lot, but the ground is like clay. And so the water does not seep in very well into the soil. And so it ends up pooling. And so it gets very, very muddy here. In fact, we actually cemented in 3/4 of our backyard because it was a literal swamp every time the rainy weather started. You couldn't even go out in it. It was just so bad. So now we have 3/4 of our backyard is cemented in, and we have like a nice gazebo that you can sit under with a fire pit. And our kids have a trampoline and that kind of thing. And that works much better, you know? So, oh, Margaret's here. How are you? I was actually telling the chat earlier that you had that cool spiderweb tutorial for the ornament that came out today. So if you could put the word drop in the chat so that it'll pull your channel up, that would be really great. And if anybody else has channels that they'd like to share, you can do the same. Just put the word drop in the chat. Nightbot will put your link up. So yeah, I do want to make that. It is just one more craft But I do want to work on that, Margaret. I think that looks so cool. They want to chew the potty pads. I have a knee injury, so I'm not able to take them out yet. Oh, no bueno. It's hard when your knees are hurting or you're having an injury. It's hard to get around. Thank you, Margaret. Margaret's channel's now in the chat, so show her some love. Throw some yarn in her window. Yeah, I got to see what beads I have, Margaret. I don't know. I doubt that I have the body beads that I would need, but I'll have to take a look because I want to make that. Pretty sure I have, I know I have the wire that I need, I'm sure. I'm just going to double check my count, but I think I've just finished. Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Really? It looked the same as the other boot. Oh no, maybe it is shorter. Okay, all right, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. I'm just tucking the tail in here. Oh my goodness. Got all excited there. I thought, oh, now we get to connect them. But no, no, no. I counted my chickens before they hatched here. All right. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Margaret, I didn't know how crafty you are. That's really cool. You're into a lot of crafts, which is, I get like that too. Like I'm like a squirrel, right? Or I just like, or the dog that's like squirrel, squirrel. There's just always something I want to learn how to make, and I want to make, and it makes me pause all the things I should be working on to make something else. And so that's not always a good thing, but you know, I've actually been filming a junk journaling tutorial for making the little tiny one I showed. I did a live where I was working for it for 3 hours. We were, or I was adding ephemera and just really decorating it and detailing it and stuff like that. So, and it's made with a Nerds box. And I wanted to show how small you can make these little journals because I really like little small things like that. So I'm doing a tutorial now for that. All right, let me count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We've hit the end of the boot. All right, let me move the pattern a little bit here. Other way. Okay, because we're doing boot number 2. So we've done rows 1 through 14. Your hubby says you're into too many crafts, Margaret. No, you said he stole the blanket you were making, so he must appreciate them. Okay, so first let's start out with 8 single crochets. Okay, let's get that going here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, now chain 1, so yarn over and pull through. There's 1 chain right there. Okay, now 6 single crochets through the front loops only. Okay, so we're gonna go just through the front loops here. So 6 single crochets. All right, so the front loop, if you're looking at the V, is the one right in front. So you're going under that loop and out through the middle. And we're just gonna do 6 single crochets. Okay, so what we're doing right now is we're building up the area between his legs. So 3, 4, 5, whoops, 5, and 6. Okay. All right, now chain 1 again and turn your work. Okay, so you can see the back loops that we've just left behind. So now we're gonna go working into both loops, and we're just single crocheting back across. Okay, so we're gonna single crochet back across. It has 3 of your blankets now. That's awesome though. I love that. Okay, so there's our 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, chain 1 again. Turn your work. All right, now we need to pick up our other boot. And again, you want to make sure your boot feet are facing the right way, okay? So you don't have some weird janky looking feet, okay? Or having one going one way, one going the other. So we don't want that. All right. So now you're going to go through both loops of the second boot and through the front loops only. Wait, hang on. 6 single crochets through both loops of boot number 2 and through the front loops only of 6 stitches on boot number 1. So you're basically doing the same thing you did on this other side on this side, okay? So let's go ahead. Oh, my nose itches. I'm sorry, guys. When I work with fiber, it's just starts to itch sometimes. All right, so make the toes go how you want them. So kind of like hold up your other boot here and decide where it's going to look best. Okay. Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. All right, so we're going to go through here. All right, so it does say front loop only, but that's actually, if you were making your boot, it is the front loop. And because you're holding it in a different direction, it does look like the back loop, but it is the front loop. So, okay, so we're doing that one plus the 2 that are back on our chain, our little space over here, okay? So we're gonna go through both at the same time, and we're single crocheting across here. Whoops. Whoops, there we go. All right. So now again, we're going to the center of the V, going through that back one there, going through both the loops on this other boot, and single crochet. And we're doing this 6 times basically to connect these 2 together. All right, so there's 3. Oops. Of course, that being said, he had to get me to watch a video for a Japanese craft called Doridango, which are basically polished spheres made from dirt. Nice. Yeah, so we'll add that to the mix, okay? Yep. One more thing. Oh my goodness, that's too funny. Was he like, I want you to make me this? Or was it just kind of like a, oh, check this other craft out? That's kind of cool, right? Okay, and then this is my last one here that I am connecting together. All right, so you can see now that the boots are now connected by this center space here, okay? All right, so now that you've done that, we're doing 15 single crochets around boot number 1. Oh, you know what, guys? Wait, hang on. Let me think about this. Hang on. What did I do? Okay, hang on. Let me think. Okay, no, I think that's fine. All right, so we're gonna go, this is boot number 1, right? So we're going around boot number 1. So I'm just checking where my last stitch was. Okay, so I'm gonna go around this where we fastened off here. Okay, so we're just going around, if I can get the stitch here. We're just gonna go around our boot. So 15 single crochets, okay? So we're going around. Doing that right? Feels like I'm going the wrong way, but maybe not. Oh my goodness, you guys, yeah, I am. Hang on, bear with. Bear with, this is what you get with live. Apologies. I apologize, hang on, you guys. Something is not right, something is quite wrong. Something is not right, and so I sing this song. All right, I am going to do this. I'm going to go back across one more time, and I'll show you why here in just a second. My apologies, you guys. This is what happens. Oh, okay, so we got 4, 5, 6. Okay, chain 1 and turn. Now we're facing the right way. So I'm not sure what I did there, but whatever it was, now we should be right. Okay, So now we are working in the front loops only, all right? So we're going to work in the front loops only of the boot number 1 and both loops of boot number 2. So we're going to go through both loops of boot number 2 and through the front loop of boot number 1. And I do apologize for having to backtrack there. Sometimes multitasking is not my friend, okay? And thank you, ADHD brain. All right, so we're just going just as we did before. I'm going to pick up those front loops only, those 6 stitches, and connect the boots together. I know, it's like, this is what you get with live. Oh, your husband's pretty sure he's not magical, huh? Here we go. Okay, there's our last one there. Now we're going the right direction. I was wondering, why am I not going the right way? Okay, here we go. Now, back to where we were before. Let's do our 15 single crochets. So continue on around boot number 1. So we're doing 15. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You're glad I'm showing everything, Angel? All my mistakes, you mean? That's okay. I try to make light of things like this because this is what happens. This is what happens, you guys. And it's okay. Like, we're not perfect and we make mistakes too, right? So, okay, so we did our 15 single crochets around boot number 1, 3 single crochets through the edge between the boots. So let's go through the side edge, okay? So you see how we've created this little rectangle in between the legs or in between the feet? We're working along that side there. So we're going to put 3 single crochets along that side. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay? This is reality. This is what you get, right? Yes, very true. Oh my gosh. I think, because it's a long paragraph and my eyes probably skipped a line because I think you are supposed to do that extra row in there and I was forgetting it. So, okay. Anyway, so we've done the 3. Okay. Now we're going to go and do 7 single crochets through the remaining stitches on our boot number 2. So we're going to go back over here and doing our 7 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, now we're going to replace our stitch markers. See, now it's all working up nice. All right, we're starting with 8 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay, and 8. Now 3 single crochets through the other side, okay, so 3 of those. 1 in the middle, there's 2, and then on the other side there is 3. Okay, now you're working around the first boot, and we're just going to keep going around because all of these have now the single crochets from before. So now we're just finishing this whole thing off with single crochets, and that's going to be 25 stitches, okay? So we're going to be doing 25 single crochets. So we just go around. It's always the hardest part to get the 2 connected, and then once they're connected, you're just going in a circle now. Now it's nice and easy. Thank goodness. Oh my goodness. Do I have anybody here with me still? Yay, 7 of you guys are hanging out. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. I'll be here all night now. It feels like that sometimes, right? When things are just, you're making mistake after mistake. You're like, oh my God, oh, this is never going to get done. No, it's going to get done. We've got this. We've got this, Santa. We've got you. Okay, here we go. And if you have any big gaping holes or anything from your connecting area, you can always take this little end here and use that to sort of weave them through and close those gaps. So that's a nice thing of having that tail just in case. Sometimes when you do connections, depending on tension, sometimes there's a little bit bigger gaps than we want, right? So thank you, Margaret. Yes, I'll teach you things and I'll be your comedic relief. Oh my gosh. I was like kind of daunted when I decided to make Santa live, if I'm being honest, because he's just involved, you know. Hi, Debbie. Oh, for part 1 and 2 of the tutorials? Yeah, I can do that. Let's see here. Hang on. Hang on, bear with here. Let me just grab those for you. So part 1, we did the ring of the wreath, and that's this one. Okay, so that's part 1. And part 2, we did the rest of the wreath, which was done, we did that yesterday. And that is this one right here. Okay, so that's part 1 and 2. And then today we're starting to build Santa from the ground up. So, okay. Back to where we were. Let's get our pattern back here. All right, so now we finished that. We're going to start increasing, right? Because, I mean, he would be really skinny if we kept him this size. We need to make Santa more jolly than that. So let's start increasing. So we're doing 2 single crochets and an increase all the way around. He needs meat on his bones. So 1, 2, and an increase. And we're doing that all the way around. 1, 2, and then around again. I finished my, well, I don't know if I'm finished with it, my advent calendar that I had gotten from Daiso, you guys, and I posted a short or a reel, whatever it's called here on YouTube. I posted that showing it yesterday because I added some things to it, finished painting it and everything, but I'm just not sure if I want to add like maybe if I could find a bead, like a star bead or something like that to the top where the roof is, the roof pitched roof. Or something like that. I'm not sure yet. It looks nice as it is though, so if you guys catch that, let me know what you think. But I got the Dollar Tree had the, it's like the fake sort of pine leaves. They did have a lot of glitter on them though. Oh my gosh. I was actually shaking off as much of the glitter as I could into the trash can just because the glitter just gets everywhere. It's awful. Like, whose idea was it to add all the glitter? If it stayed where it was meant to stay, that would be great, but the glitter just gets everywhere. So, shook some off, cut off the little branches from the base, and then I hot glued those down to the advent and in a couple of spots to look like a garland. That was my thought. I really wanted to add lights to it too, and I bought so many different string lights to try to see if I could add lights to the top part, and just nothing was looking right, so I kind of gave up on it. If I come up with an idea, I will do that, but otherwise I think we're just gonna leave it as it is. So okay, even thought about putting like stuffing in there where the snow is to kind of give a bit of a more snowy look, and then putting the lights under that, but it just didn't look right. So what can you do? Whoops. Hang on, this is splitting on me again. Okay, let's try that again. There we go. 1, 2, and increase. Okay. All right, so now let me move this over because we need to go back up high. And I need you to see where we are. Let's see. I think I have to go on the other side, so hang on. Where's my mouse? Here we go, here we go. Oh my goodness, my mouse is giving me issues here. So what we're doing is on that side. So how can I show that to you? So let's do this. It's gonna go on that side now. I'm gonna move my face over here. Okay, and then we're gonna move our hands over here. So the reason I'm using this board as my background is because for whatever reason, the dark wood, my camera likes to just hone in on that dark wood and goes in and out of focus a lot. So I'm trying to avoid that as much as I can here. Okay, so now we've finished that row. Let's make sure we replace our stitch marker here. Okay, and now for rows 18 through 24, we're single crocheting around, okay? So we're just gonna hang out and do this. I used to do the glitter tattoos for people. Talk about glitter everywhere. I can imagine. Wow, yeah, glitter, it's just... I stupidly put Santa, my crocheted Santa, in with these 2 glitter flocked trees. They're just like white. They're a white tree. They were covered in glitter though, with a little base, and then they have a light inside, right? So you can put the batteries in, turn it on, and then there you go. So they're super cute trees, but I did not realize how much the glitter actually came off of them, and Santa was covered in glitter all over. I had to sit there like just banging on him to try to get the glitter to come off into the trash can. So I'm sure he'll always have glitter on him now somewhere. It's like tinsel. It's just, you can never get rid of it. So yeah. Glitter's annoying. Slime is another one that tends to like to stay behind. All the fun things that the kids bring in now. My husband keeps trying to say no glitter, no slime. You know, that's not working very well though. So my daughter loves slime. She likes to make slime. She likes to just play with slime. But let's just say the other day I had to scrub some slime off of my husband's backside because he sat in it because it had gone over the outside, the edge of the table, and there you go. Sat right down into it. He was not expecting to sit into slime, so yeah. Oh my goodness. We didn't have that when I was a kid. We had Play-Doh. I don't really remember playing with it that often though. And there's glitter slime. Yeah, let's mix the two. That's actually what it was, Margaret. It was a glitter slime. So at first he was upset because, you know, they'd kind of cleaned up the table, but there was glitter all over the table because it's hard to get the glitter off. You have to really put the elbow grease in there to try to get it off the table. And so he was like, oh my gosh, there's glitter everywhere. I can't even eat my dinner. Now I got to clean up, you know, so I'm helping him clean that up and stuff. And then he sits down. That's when he sat in it because it was on his chair. Oh my gosh, poor guy. It's like the big eyes, like, I hate slime. I hate slime. No, if you want to, you know what's one thing that I don't think they should have ever come out with for kids? Orbeez. So do you guys know what an Orby is? I don't know if you've ever heard of these. But Orbeez they start off as these little harmless, little bead looking things, right? Really tiny. Nothing crazy. Then you put them in water and they soak up the water and then they expand. And so they become like, where's my hand here? Hang on. They come like maybe yay big. And they bounce, by the way. They bounce, they break up into bits. And at some point or another, the kids, you know, we would put them in a tub or something, not like the tub, but like in a tub, a Tupperware tub or something like that. And then they would give them water, they'd expand, and they'd kind of mess around with them here and there, and that sort of a thing. And then for whatever reason over the summertime, they decided that they were gonna bring the Orbeez out and jump with them on the trampoline, because that's a good idea. Because it's like an Orby explosion, right? So they had the hose underneath, so they were getting water up onto them while they were jumping on the trampoline. And creative little buggers, they had the Orbeez on there too, so those were bouncing about as well. And then, you know, you try to get as many of them as you can, as many of the Orbeez up as you can. They had them in a bin outside for a while, and I think the wind came at some point, probably pulled some of them out of the bin. Because the thing is that once they dry, once the water absorbs or evaporates, they go back to being little again, into their little harmless selves, you know? And so anyway, you know, we tried to get rid of these things. Well, it rains 3/4 of the year. So every time it rains and we go out into our backyard, the Orbeez are back. We find the Orbeez again, because that's when they soak up the water and then they come back out again. Oh my God, it's awful. So that we will probably never fully get rid of these things. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Mushed Orbeez. Had to get the shop vac. Try to get as many as we could. But you know, when they shrink, you don't see them, and then it rains, and then there they are again. So it's just like, it's just a nightmare. Whatever you do, do not let them escape into the wild. That would be my recommendation when it comes to Orbeez. The wild Orbeez. I still don't know what they're made of. It's just they're the weirdest thing, but it's a sensory thing, you know. And so, and I've actually another thing people use them for is they will make those. You know, if you're making like say you take a mason jar and then you're putting in some decorative rocks, then they'll put the Orbeez in, like a clear Orby, because it looks pretty at the time. And also because they will help to absorb the water, and then you'll put like an air plant or something on there. So people will do that with them. And then as you water them, you know, they help to store the water. And so it's just so weird. Yeah, they're like gremlins. That's right. Yes. Oh my gosh. And then you're trying to pick them up and they're bouncing all over the place because they're also hard to grab because they're slippery little buggers. And so it's just a nightmare. It's such a nightmare. Oh my gosh. Oh, person's probably made billions and billions of dollars. But yeah, people have filled their tubs with them and stuff, and I don't know. I don't get it. Oh my gosh. Does anybody else have anything like that they're just like, oh my gosh, I hate this thing? Whatever kids toy, or you know, anything that seems like a good idea but then it is really a bad idea, and then you wish you'd never had to use it or see it. Oh my gosh. All right, we're gonna count here in just a minute because I can't remember how many rounds I've done here. Let's see. Well, actually, I know I haven't done enough, so we'll just keep going. We're just gonna single crochet around. Yeah, I just don't get it. I don't know. Although there were a lot of toys we had that were pretty dangerous, and I think they've probably taken them away. Like we had Tinker toys. And I know many kids would put the tall ones in their mouth and kind of bite down. And like I think my mom actually said she had done that when she was a kid or something. Because I think Tinker toys have been around for some time now. But yeah, those were never good. We had those clackers too that would clack, and then they'd whack you in the knuckle, and that would hurt really bad. Oh my gosh, yes, stepping on Legos is, I think that's like one of the worst feelings, stepping on a Lego. Yeah, the clackers. Those were terrible. I think they were metal too at one point, and then they probably broke people's hands. They had to make them into plastic, to try to make it better. But if you hit yourself hard enough, even with plastic, that's going to hurt. What happened to like coloring? Coloring is good. Drawing. All those things are good. Kids should get back into those. Legos are the devil. Yep. We have so many Legos. So many Legos. My husband loves Legos. He'll build like those big sets and stuff. He was always hoping our kids would really get into them, but they'd build a set here or there, but they were never that excited about it. So they could take it or leave it, I suppose. But then you end up, especially if you buy these kits, like we would buy the kids kits and then they would do some of the kit and then they get bored of it, or it'd get mixed in with the other stuff. Now you just have extra Lego parts, which, they charge you for the fact that it's a kit. So, oh yeah, jacks. Oh my gosh. Those will puncture your feet. Wow, I forgot about jacks. Yes, we had jacks. Oh my gosh. Your son was into constructs. Yeah. Yeah. Those are kind of like a Tinker toy kind of, right? Like where you can kind of build them up and stuff. The kids had never really gotten into that. My son always liked marble runs, so they have plastic ones of those that you can put together, and he would enjoy those. He didn't want to build them. He just wanted to play with the marbles. So we had to do all the building. We used to have, it came out, it was a craze for a little bit. The malls, you would be able to find the kiosks and such. They would have kiosks where you could pick them out. The Pogs. Do you remember Pogs? And then you get the Slammer. That was like a thicker one, and I think they were metal at the time. They might have been just a really durable plastic. I'm not sure. But yeah, all the Pogs would have different pictures on them, so you just like go searching, and then you get your Pog containers, and those looked just like the mini M&M's containers, but they were the Pog size with the little lid. So we went through the Pog phase. Oh, yeah, lighted ones and motorized ones of the constructs. That's cool. That's awesome. I'm really into I haven't built one in a while, but I really like those DIY book nooks. And I have quite a few that I've made. And sometimes I'll make them with my dad, too, because he enjoys doing that as well. Or at least I like to think that he does, since I kind of forced it upon him. But, yeah, I really love those. The one thing that I need to figure out, though, is because they have batteries. They're battery pack powered. And, I want to be able to have them on all the time, but I don't want to go through batteries like crazy. So I need to figure out how to hotwire them together. and have it actually be pluggable so we can plug them in. And I know it's got to be a possibility. I don't know how to do it, but it's got to be a possibility because I've been to stores where they just have the walls lined with them and they're all on and they must have them on a switch. Beth's in the house. Hi, Beth. That you made your own flowers or bugs. It was like a hot metal thing that you poured liquid colored smelly stuff into. Gross. Heated the liquid into like a kind of spongy bug. Huh. I'm trying to remember if I ever did that. Creepy crawlers, Margaret said. Is that what it is? I'm glad you could join us. We're building up Santa's pants. And I'm making them in a lighter brown so you guys can actually see the stitches instead of black. I don't want to torture you too much. Oh yeah, that sounds super dangerous. One of the things actually, okay, here's another one, you guys. We're talking about toys that probably should never have existed. So I like little things. And in fact, I started collecting, they've come out with these little mini books that it's from, what's the brand called? I'm blanking on it right now, but it's like a mini brand. I think it's Mini Brands. But anyways, so there's the other one that is Mini Verse, I think it's called. And it is like you put these things together and then you put a resin on them and you either heat them in the sunlight or you can get a UV light and the kids are using them. But the resin gets everywhere and resin's not good for your hands. So I don't know if this is some special kids resin or something that's not toxic, but like you're really not supposed to have resin all over your fingers, right? And my daughter, it just gets everywhere and she loves these things. But I can't get them to not be really sticky, which is annoying. So yeah, I just don't know. I don't know what, I mean, I think they're cute if you can get them to look perfect, but otherwise they kind of just look like a mess. Now they've come out with Harry Potter ones where you make little potions. They've got Lord of the Rings, Hello Kitty, Target brand, you know. Wow, you found one for 200 bucks on Etsy. Wow. The supplies to make them, Beth, are $200, or they're selling like the finished things. That's expensive. Wow. All right, let me just see where I'm at here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. Oh no, we lost our pattern. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. I heard. I have not seen that one. I'm sure it's in her lives. I could like go back and try to find it, but yeah, I heard that she had a huge reaction to it. So how did she even, like, what was she using resin for? Do you remember? That's crazy. Well, and that's the other thing. Like in these kids, they don't even give the kids gloves, you know? The very least, and I told my daughter this, I said, if we ever get you another one of these kids, you should be wearing gloves, you know, because we really don't. I mean, I like to think that it's probably non-toxic resin because it's a kid's product, but who knows, you know? Who knows? There we go. I was dropping my stitch there. Yeah, her face ballooned up, didn't it? Or her eyes or something? That's nuts. Nuts, I say. Now you might think I'm playing yarn chicken. See, there's not that much left. I actually was smart and I picked one that had an extra ball in there. That was partly why this color won, is because of that. I was like, ooh, I don't know if I'm gonna have enough. So here we are. She was pouring resin for something and you don't remember what. Okay. Now, when I've done things with resin, I like to get things like Mr. Resin where it's already pre-mixed in the bottle. I have tried the one that you mix them yourself and I can never get them right and I can't get them to set right. So I just stopped using that. But yeah, resin is very dangerous to work with. You really have to be in a well-ventilated area. You're supposed to wear like those crazy gas masks and stuff. Because it's not good to inhale the fumes. So if you're gonna do resin, make sure to be safe about it. She went to the doctor because she didn't know what caused it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, he's got his little pants here. He's a happy guy. Just needs a head now. We're getting there. We're getting there. Almost done with the single crochets, and then we'll keep on going. I am going to need to get my other color for his shirt, though. Ooh, look at that. I ran out of that one, but that's okay. Let's replace our stitch marker here. Let me just count one more time. Resin allergy, and the lady looked just like him. Oh my gosh. Oh, so were you the one that told her what was going on, Margaret? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Okay, I got one more row of single crochets. So let me grab my next brown. And bring that in just like if I was changing my colors here. And then what I tend to do, especially for amis, just because it's easier and because the inside nobody sees, is I'll just take the two ends and I'll just tie the knot on the inside. Well, thank goodness that you were in the chat. That's crazy. Okay, so those are tied off in there. And now we just keep on going. There was like one time, so my first ever job was working as a barista at a little small mom and pop coffee shop back in California called Cafe Adria. And there was this guy that came in and he always brought his parrot, like cockatoo kind of parrot, right? And he was like, if you do you want to hold him? Like, I never held a parrot before. Is he nice? And I was still pretty young, you know, so I held him on my hand just briefly, very briefly. And before I washed my hands, I must have done this or something. And, you know, I went like that thinking I'd be all right. And my eyes started to swell. So whatever, I don't know if it was the bird I was allergic to or whatever the bird had been standing on, but I started having an allergic reaction to the parrot. So either way, I'm not going to own a parrot anytime soon, or a cockatoo or whatever. Is it a cockatiel? It's like that white one with the sort of the crest on the back. The hair comes up. You see him dancing a lot in YouTube videos. The kind I'm using. I bought some on Temu. The plastic's so stiff that they break when you lock them. I've never heard that. You know, you can get them for $1.25 at the dollar store in a little container, Beth. And they work out just fine. Doing lapidary work, I have worked with resin, so I am kind of hyper aware of stuff like that. Yeah. Yep. We had, I don't remember ever holding it though, but we had, what kind of bird is it? It's like yellow and white on the head, but the body is it's grayish body, and I think it usually has like a spot kind of on the side, like orangey spot. I can't remember what kind of bird it is, but my Aunt Liz had given us hers, I think, or she had to move or something, so we ended up with this bird, and its name was Mooney. Umbrella cockatoo. Yeah, that could be. but I don't think I ever held that bird, so I can't really gauge the allergies to birds from that one. But I find birds to be kind of loud anyways, so I don't think I could deal with the squawking. Cockatiel, that's it. Yep. Yep. Okay, so we just finished our last of the single crochets here for now. Okay, so now we're going to be round 25. So now we're going to start our invisible decrease. Okay, so it's 10 single crochets and an invisible decrease. So let's start with our 10 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now do an invisible decrease or a decrease, regular decrease, whatever you prefer, personal preference. Oh no, you're allergic to cats and horses. I'm probably allergic to cats. My daughter's allergic to cats, even though we have Merlin and Arthur. But she takes allergy meds for that, so that we can keep our kitties. We love our kitties. All right, so now we're doing another 10 single crochets. And then another decrease. My ex had a large, mean cockatoo named Ernie. He hated me. He'd fly at me and try to bite me, and then he'd yell, "I'm a good boy." You can't make this stuff up, Beth. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Who taught him that, you know? He had to learn that from somewhere. That's so funny. Oh my goodness. Silly yarn. Some of these yarns, the stitches split so easily. Anyway. My Merlin is black. He's a tuxedo. He's black with white paws, and he has some white on his chin a little bit, and then on his chest it's all white. And he's longer haired. And my Arthur, he reminds me of Han Solo's colors. He's like white, but he has some of the like brown tones in there, and he's a cutie. He's so cute. So he's a funny cat. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, another invisible decrease. And then another 10 single crochets. Yeah, Merlin sleeps every time he sleeps most of the day actually, but he's always hanging out with me. He's actually right here. He has commandeered the top tier of my 3-tiered cart, and so I relinquished it to him. I put a blanket there, and now that's like his spot, although his brother does try to get in on that sometimes. So whenever he vacates, Arthur will come and try to take that spot, which I think is cute. A battle of wills. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we've done that. That's the row or round 25. So 26 and 27, we're single crocheting around, and at the very end, we'll switch to the shirt color, okay? So you will need your shirt color coming up here. Apologies if you guys, I'm sure you can hear the messages coming through. I wish I could figure out how to stop that, but oh well. It is what it is. I think I need to somehow tell it. I don't want those notifications. All right, so we're just doing single crochets all the way around for 2 rows. Can't have any because I have a rat terrier with a high prey drive. Oh no. Is the rat terrier the one that's like Frankenweenie? Is that a rat terrier? The one with the kind of the upper head is like more rounded? I can never remember what that one's name is, or if that's what it is. Yeah, it's so funny. Like Merlin is the cat that he's always right under your feet. He'll dive through them. In fact, one of these days, he's just like he tries to trip you, but he also likes to try to escape. So if the back door is open for just a hair too long, or if I'm at the front door because somebody's at the front door, you know, I have to literally block the exit with my body really awkwardly, trying to make sure he can't get out. And sometimes he still manages to find a little hole and he squeezes himself through. So yeah, he'll get out, and then if it's in the backyard, he'll go and try to chew on grass for a little bit, and then we'll pick him up and we'll put him back in. But I try to avoid him getting out if I can help it, because we've had some close calls there where somebody left the garage door open, and we have the cat door that goes to the garage where their litter boxes are. And so they left the garage door open, and sure enough, there goes Merlin. So we'd find him a few houses down in the bushes. But I was always afraid that, you know, we weren't going to find him. So he will get, what's the word? He gets, like, if he's been out too long, if you're just let him out in the backyard and you're in the backyard for a little bit, it's okay. But then he'll start getting adventurous. And he's like, I'm going to go into the neighbor's yard. He's literally gone into the neighbor's yard, laid down on their cement, and looked up at me as I'm peering down over the fence. And he's like, what? This is a nice spot to lay, you know? Like, get over here. Oh my gosh. Hi, Lana. Oh, it's all right. I'm glad you can make it. We've made the shoes, and we're working on the pants, and we're just about to switch over to the shirt color. Once we finish the last, it'll be on the last stitch of this one. I'm glad you guys could come and hang out with me. So even if you're not making Santa and you're hanging out, that's fine too. I'm happy with that. I'm getting there, you guys. My view hours, I'm getting there. It's taking a while for the, because I'm trying to get to memberships so I can have memberships on the channel. But it's taking a while for it to update. But from what the dashboard is telling me, I just need about 500 more view hours, and then I'll have enough to do memberships, and then another 1,000 for full monetization. So that's what I'm working towards. Hopefully I'll get there before the end of the year, but we will see. So whoops. There we go. What are you working on, Lana? You got anything going on? So I have, let me think. I'm just checking my colors that I have around me here. I'm thinking, so I have a kind of an off-white tone, because mine is going to be a woodlandy sort of Santa, and it's a lot more browns and stuff. I don't really want to do a stark white for this one, so I think I'm going to use my off-white over there. So I'll grab that here in just a sec, and then we'll switch colors because his little feet are just about done. Okay, here we go. We're getting there. Just a few more stitches. Okay, and then I'm on my last stitch here, so let me grab my other color for the shirt. What is going on here? Oh, it's one is wrapping around the other. Hang on, bear with. Okay, there we go. Actually, ooh, now I have to decide, you guys. What do you think? Okay, I have this, which is actually the color, it's a cotton. It's called Mushroom, which would actually look pretty good. And then I have like an off-white tone. What do you guys think? Should we go with mushroom or off-white? Mushroom or off-white? Help me decide. Whoever tells me first, that's what I'm going with. Mushroom, like that, or off-white? Come on, come on. Who's going to say something? What should we do? To see if I can even find the center. If we go with this one here. It doesn't want to show me the center. Well, all right, nobody's chiming in. And it's stuck. Mushroom, okay, thank you, Angel. Like, whose idea? I mean, I guess this is from the Dollar Tree, but look at this. They glued it into the, they like glued it on there. What the heck? That's okay. We can make it work. It's okay. Yeah, I like this mushroom color. That's why I got it. So I was like, ooh, that's pretty. But I can't find the center pole, so we're gonna go from the outside, which is all right. Okay, there's the glue. So I'm just gonna cut that bit off because it's crusty and gross. I don't want that in my thing. Okay, now we're getting the chime-ins. All right, Margaret agrees. We're going with the mushroom here. Now, I've only ever used Sugars and Cream, I think it's Lily brand, Sugars and Cream, cotton, and wasn't a huge fan. So this is different cotton I wanted to try. Okay, so I'm going to go start with the brown, get my second loop. Now I'm going to yarn over with the mushroom and switch my colors here. Okay. Replace my stitch marker onto my mushroom yarn. I like that it's called mushroom too. It's like a perfect description for what this color looks like. Okay, so now we've switched colors. Now with white, we're doing 9 single crochets and an invisible decrease around, okay? So one little pro tip here, when you're changing colors, if you don't want to see so much of a, they call it jogging. It's because it's like a stair, right? Where you change colors. So one way you can avoid that is to start on your first stitch, the next one, on your first next stitch, I guess, do it as a slip stitch, okay? So that's what I'm going to do. So you start the first one as a slip stitch, then you continue on with your single crochets as usual, okay? So I'm just going around like so, and that, just count that as that. Most of the time it's going to tell you it's a single crochet, so I just count it as a single crochet, but I do a slip stitch, which prevents there from being a big jog in our work. So, all right, so that's 4. Let's keep on going. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then invisible decrease. There we go. Okay. And continue on all the way around doing that. Six, 7, 8, 9, and invisible decrease. Go. Okay, and I'm gonna just cut this brown off because we're done with the pants color, and then I'm just gonna tie these two together, kind of like I did before, just so they're nice and secured on the inside there. Okay, you can tuck them in and they can just add to your stuffing that we'll do later. All right, here we go. Tuck that guy in there too. It's like a little cup. All right, so let's keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, And did I say 9? Is that what we're doing? Yes, 9. And invisible decrease again through the front loops only here. Okay, and one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and invisible decrease. There we go. Okay, replace your stitch marker. You need a nap, Margaret? You can go take a nap. Just keep me playing. I'll be here when you get back. No, maybe I may not be here. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We're definitely gonna finish this body though. That's the goal, is to get this finished up. So we're getting there. We're getting there. Okay. So rows 29 through 33 are just single crocheting around. So now we're building up his body, right? We're building up his body before we get high enough up to where we will have like the arms, and then eventually that's where his head will go. That's not going to be a today problem though, right? We're going to do that on another day. I've got quite a few of these scheduled out. Not all of them, but for this week I have them scheduled out. So, oh yeah. What were you going to work on, Margaret? What do you want to work on? You'll want to keep watching if you keep me playing. I know, right? I always try to catch, you know, you guys when you're on live and stuff as much as I can. And then if there's sometimes where people go on live and it's close to my dinner time, and then I'll hear the, you know, dinner's ready or whatever, or I'll have to go and make dinner, and I'll just leave it playing upstairs in my office. I'm like, I gotta get you the few hours too, you know? Goes both ways. Oh, the dot mandala rock video. Ooh, yeah. That sounds like fun. Do you already have the rocks that you're going to use for that? They had a thing going here in, I think, well, they mostly did it in Vancouver. That's where it started originally. It was called Vancouver Rocks. And people would basically paint a rock and then they would hide it or leave it around Vancouver, anywhere in Vancouver. And then you would have, a lot of times on the bottom, they would put like Vancouver rocks on there or whatever. But you're meant to take a picture wherever you found the rock and post it on this Facebook page that was called Vancouver Rocks, so people could see that you'd found their rock, you know, and then you're supposed to go and do some more. So when my kids were little, we made some of our own and we put them out. It was a lot of fun. We found a few through the years. We found a few. You lose a lot of sleep watching videos at night. Yes. I know one of the gals that Kim had on the other day, Chris from Yarning Over in Japan, I started watching her lives and hanging out. And I like the music in the background. She has like a gentle piano music in the background when she's doing her crochet. And I usually like listening to something without lyrics, so that or like a lo-fi music. But I saw she came on the other day and I was like, my head was starting to dip and I thought I better not. If I jump in, I'm like on my way to bed. I need to just go to bed. I'm falling asleep watching my shows. Oh, they do that around there too? Oh, cool. That's awesome. It was always so much fun. I just remember finding them and the kids would, oh my gosh, Mom, look. They'd be so excited to find one. So, But the whole thing is if you find one, you're supposed to make some to kind of replace that so that the community and the Vancouver rock stuff can just keep going. But I noticed there were some that had like battleground rocks, and so they must have spread out to other cities as well. Yeah, I really like her. She's super nice. She's super nice. I feel bad though when she does get some trolls on there. So that's not fun. But I need to add to my moderators so I have more people to help me just in case. I have not been visited much by trolls. So, but there's always a first time, right? I've seen some video or some lives where the poor people that are doing them are just trying to do their thing, you know, and then the trolls come in and it's like, oh my gosh, it's terrible. Yeah, right. I'm right there with you. Yeah, I always have a rock around. My son would collect rocks, and so when I was doing Boone, my ghost one recently, I just went downstairs and I just looked because he would just grab them thinking, oh, that's a cool rock. You know, oh, that's this or that's that. And then I'm like, end up with these mountains of rocks. So take my pick. She does. Yeah. Yeah, she does. There's definitely like even one of the gals who's on here a lot, and Kim just had her recently, Bailey is her name. Her Simply Made by Hand is her channel. She's very young, and her dad and her sister, her older sister, I think it's her older sister, are her moderators, and there's been times where she gets heavily trolled. I guess in one sense she's getting views, right? But they're sitting there, and as soon as these things are popping up, they're trying to get rid of the messages and trying to keep it in a good space there for people, you know? Oh, you've only seen her take a few people out of her chat? Yeah. Yeah, I don't think she has a moderator. I think she does it herself. Which, I mean, I probably could do, but I think that I just get flustered. I get flustered on my live sometimes, and then I'm like, wait, what was I doing? Hang on. Yeah, they have the homestead. That's right. Large Family Homestead is her sister's channel. I really like this color, you guys. And this yarn, this is the Premier. What was it? This is, like I said, this is the one I got at Dollar Tree. Just Premier Cotton. 85% cotton, 15% polyester is what is in here. Just Cotton, it's called. Just Cotton, but it's not just cotton, right? It has polyester in there. False advertising. That's funny. Oh my gosh. But it feels better to work with than the sugar and cream. I'll say that. Always was never that big a fan of sugars and cream. Are you guys all fans of working with cotton yarn? What's your favorite yarn to work with? I had thought this year about making a giant blanket yarn Santa. Can you imagine how big he would come out? I opted against it because I didn't have all the colors, and I really got to stop buying so much yarn, you guys, until I can use some of it. Oh, man. Yeah, maybe it's the polyester that's in here, but it's not as rough as the other cotton. I don't know if Lily's Sugars and Cream is a blend or if it's just 100% cotton. Not sure. So I used to exclusively make Amis out of Red Heart Super Saver. That was always my go-to, and I still really like it. But like for these projects, I'm really trying. I have giant bins of balled yarn, and I'm trying to get these stashes used up. So I may end up having to do one of those blankets that you just try to use up some of your stash. So you're not a fan of cotton, Margaret? I know Kim loves it, but I don't know. It feels nice. It feels pretty nice though, this one. All right, so how many rows are we doing here? Okay, so did you hear the meow? Arthur's talking. You like Hobie's 8-4 cotton, but it is small. Hobie, Hobby? Oh, Hobby Lobbies. Love this cotton is nice. It better be with a name like that. This cotton is nice. Oh, no worries, Beth. We're just working up the shirt here. Decided to use the mushroom color, which I really am liking. I love these natural tones. I've been very drawn to them lately. You know, I love vibrant colors too, but sometimes it's just these neutral tones are very nice. And they go well. I think this is going to go really nice with that olive green that I'm going to use for his coat once we get to that stage. Okay, so let's see. We are at... Okay, so then we did 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. So I got one more row. And then we can continue on. And we'll start doing some decreasing as we are building up sort of the shoulder neck area. So today we're just going to finish this up. We're going to go through round 36 to make this body, and then we will continue on tomorrow. But yeah, we've got a few more rows together here, so let's just keep on plugging away. Keep on plugging away. There we go. Yeah. I was trying to split there. Did you see that? Here we go. You have some cotton, Beth, some Joann's, teals, orange, brown, and white are the colors, right? Yeah. Like, what do people use the cotton yarn for predominantly? Kind of the other reason I don't really prefer it for Amis is because it's harder for me with this yarn to, or maybe it's just actually, it may just be the type that it is, because with the acrylic, there's enough of a fuzziness on it that I feel like it hides the stuffing really well, so you don't see it through the stitching. The cotton is not as such, so you can kind of see through the holes a little bit more. And so that's tends to be why I don't really use it too much for Amis, but I think this will be all right. And the color is just perfect. And I want to use the rest of this, if I have enough, I think I will, for the mittens. I'm going to use those for his mittens. So I think that'll go really nice with peeking out of the olive green toned robe that I'm making. So that's the plan. And this is good. So see, I got rid of one of my balls of yarn today because because we finished that other brown one. There's one down. Okay, so finished that. So we've done those. Okay, so now we're going to start our decreasing rows here. So we've just got 3 more rows left, you guys. So we're going to do 6 single crochets and then an invisible decrease around. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And invisible decrease through those front loops. Here we go. and then again. 1, 2. Beth, I looked up your Etsy, and those are just gorgeous. I absolutely love the things that you put out there. Your little fairy type mushroom house purse and mushroom tote bag. Very, very pretty. Really depends on the cotton. For Hobie cotton, is it Hobie or Hobby? I don't know how to pronounce it. Is soft enough for wearables. So is Hobby Lobby's cotton. The sugar and cream is only good for kitchen and bathroom stuff, in my opinion. Yeah. It's like that Scrubbies yarn. That stuff's really rough. 4, 5. Okay, one more, 6, and invisible decrease. There we go. Boop. And again. 2, 3, 4, yeah, 5, and 6, and then invisible decrease again. There we go. And one more time. 3, 4, 5, 6, and then invisible decrease. Oops, here we go. All right, next round, 35. We're going to do 5 single crochets and invisible decrease. So just going around again. 1, 2. Aww, how cute. You're multitasking and playing with your puppies. So cute. How old are they? Did you tell us? You have K and C. Oh, I've seen K and C. I've seen that. I've not bought it, but I have seen it at Joann's and wondered how it was to work with. Every time I think about scrub yarn, I think about Crystal Bagaday threatening her husband with scrubby underwear. Oh my God, that would be awful. That stuff is so rough. Oh my goodness, how funny. Scrubby underwear. I wonder, have anybody worked with the scrubby yarn before? I can't imagine that would feel nice to work with. Like, that's got to scratch up your fingers too, right? Oh, they just turned 8 weeks old. How cute. She has little English bulldogs, you guys. Cute. 3, 4, 5. Maybe like, I don't know, crazy hair on a doll. I always think about plushies, right? I've used Fun Fur for doll's hair. I usually will hold it with a strand of regular yarn so that it's not just the Fun Fur, because Fun Fur tends to be pretty thin yarn. So I'll hold it with a strand of regular acrylic yarn and then make the hair that way. Yeah, I've done some witches, little dolls, like little witch type dolls. That it wasn't my pattern. I don't even know at this point. It's been so many years whose it was, but yeah, I would make the hair under the hat would be in that Fun Fur, so it would kind of stick out like that and look really cute. You've made scrubbies. It's not the best thing in the world to work with. I can imagine. It doesn't feel very nice. Certainly are yarns that feel a lot better than that, but they probably don't scrub on plates as well. So, all right, and then we're on our last round, you guys. 4 single crochets and then an invisible decrease around. Yay! So today was half, oh no, wait, hang on. We started at 10 today, didn't we? 10 to 11 to 12. Okay, so it's 2.5 hours instead of 3 today. So that's a little bit better, but I'm just going on longer, you guys, because if I just do this in little tiny stints, it's never getting done. So I'm just trying to make it better. So even if you have to catch this as a replay and work on it at your own pace, that's okay. You know, I get it. It's just, yeah, this little guy. We're running out of days here before December, so, which is also why I'm planning to go on live just about every day until then. You can make anything with KNC cotton. Pebbles, their mom tried to get them to go outside with her, but they are too scared to go. Oh no, the babies. That reminds me, fun for about 15 or so years ago, I was in a Facebook group where we had poppets. They were dolls that you sew. Yeah. Although I think of like voodoo dolls, but but yes, I've heard of poppets. I'm not sure exactly what they look like, or there's also those worry dolls, the little worry dolls as well. I remember those too. 3, 4. I was cracking up this morning in Kim's live. Her she had got one of those kits from Dollar Tree of an Ami, and she struggles making Amis anyways because they always look like misfit toys. She didn't use the right size hook, so she ran out of yarn and everything was just not going her way. It was hilarious. It became a dog toy, but that's okay. Frixie seemed to enjoy it. So I haven't really done too many kits myself. Found a box of novelty yarns in your stash. The heck did I buy this for? Yeah, I wonder what kind of yarn is it? Is it kind of ribbony type yarns, you know, with the different sort of fabrics and such in there? So this could be interesting. Look at that. All right. We did his little shoes up through his pants and the top part of his shirt. So this is as small as this hole gets because we will be making his head and then attaching that as well. So if you do want to put any kind of cardboard in the feet, this would be a good time to do it. So you use the bottom part of his shoe as your gauge. So you can just basically, hang on, let me get myself a pen. I have a pen. Pencil works. Okay. So you can basically just trace around the shoe. Like just inside of it, right? Can you see? Hang on. So just kind of inside of the shoe and then get to the other side. And you can kind of trim it down as needed. And just kind of mirroring it on both sides there. So you just go like that. And then you'll make 2 of those, right? So you can use the other foot if you want, but they are relatively the same size, so you basically can just also eyeball it. Doesn't have to be perfect. Because as I said, you may need to cut it down a little bit, and you'll use your shoes there as your guide. Okay. And then what you could do, bear with. Let me grab my cutting mat here. And I have my blade. You can use scissors, but with this kind of cardboard, this is this kind of like where it's got that little jig-jag there. It just tends to fold like that. And so to kind of avoid that a little bit, you can also take an X-Acto knife and cut on a cutting mat. That's what this pink thing is underneath. Got that from I don't know, Temu or the dollar store. The dollar store has them, but you're just kind of cutting this out. Okay. Like so. Let's see, did I get it? I can see it now though. All right, so then if you need to come out from the other side, you could do that. I'm just cutting this guy out. If you don't have that kind of cardboard like I have, it's just more of a thick cardboard, then you could probably just use your scissors. But on this kind, I don't really recommend that. So you're just basically going to pull that out like so. Line it up to your foot to see that it looks like it's going to fit. And then you can bring it down to the foot and tuck it in at this stage. So I'm going to do that. I'm just using it by feel. I can feel that it's going in. Hang on. Get my my not so little fingers in there. All right. Okay. So then just kind of jiggle it around and squish the shoe as needed until you can get it to fit into the bottom. But you'll notice that it creates a nice flat bottom for his shoe. And then on top of that, you'll put, if you have any kind of weights that you'd like to add, now that could be anything that has weight to it that you want to stuff in there. I've used fishing weights before. In fact, my dad's coming over tonight, and so I was going to ask him to bring me more fishing weights. But those I just drop in above the cardboard, and then we stuff on top of that. So that's how you do these shoes and get them to be a little bit more stable that way. So, all right, let me just check on your chat, you guys. Let's see, I had a doll that had 3 characters in one. Red Riding Hood. Yes. I've seen a really cute pattern, you guys, for, I think it was Lolly Lala or La La Land, something like that. Can't remember. But anyway, she did one where it was like crocheted wolf. Underneath the wolf was Red Riding Hood, and then underneath that was something else. I can't remember. Your mom had made it for you. Oh, that's awesome. Those that you flip the skirt around to see. Oh, I remember those too. Oh my gosh. Surprised when I opened the box, my kit was in. The inside was an advertisement. That's cool. Yes, that's awesome. Hang on. I realized that I must have pulled some of this yarn in there with me. There we go. It's like tugging the yarn to the boot. There we go. Now it's better. Just have to wiggle that little cardboard piece back into the bottom of his shoe. But anyways, that's what you'll do on both sides to give him that little bit of a flat bottom there. And then we'll get back to him tomorrow. So I may pop in live later. I have some projects that I'm working on. I've got 2 projects. One of them I'm going to work on Thursday, you guys. I don't know if I mentioned that, but Thursday's live will be regular where I'm just working on my own thing. And then we'll also have a Santa live that day. But Thursday I'm working on this cocoon again, you guys, that I just think is so pretty. Can you see this pretty stitch? Look at that. It's like V-stitch. I love it. And I'm using this new yarn. It's a new colorway by Big Twist Value. It's called Get Merry and Let's Mingle. Oh my God, I love that. Look at the colors. So pretty. So anyways, this is going to be my first wearable, so hopefully it comes out nice. So I'm working on that. So I might be working on that later, or I also am working on Garden Hoe Crochet's a giant snail. So this is the head. So just to show you guys. So I need to make his little face, which is going to be so cute. And then I just bought the color that I needed for the big shell pillow. So I might be joining on later on to work on the snail as well. So if you guys have any votes on what you'd like to see me work on, but I do think that maybe it'll be the snail, since Thursday I'm planning to go on and work on my cocoon again. So yeah. But thank you so much for hanging out with me, you guys, and I'm going to go take a break. Again, I hope to see you on later on if I pop back in live, and I will catch you in the next one. See you later.